You know what would have never happened when Emily Eman played at Northwestern? The Wildcats never would have had seven people on the court at one time.
Okay. You suck. Hey, I have a note about my cats that I actually found today from our ESPN. Jeffrey Muir does an awesome job of giving us stats every week and giving us a rundown. And he did a list of the most improved teams. And Northwestern is a most improved power conference team this season. They've won eight more games than they did last year. And the next closest is Iowa State with six. So, ha.
All right, there you go. That still was pretty funny. We both cracked
Yeah,
up about it.
that was
Um,
tough.
Things are taking shape in kind of a. Speaking of your Big Ten, which Northwestern is, and 13-9, 3-7, which is kind of a Northwestern kind of year. Nebraska at 10-0, and then suddenly Purdue and Wisconsin both at 8-2, two games
Yeah.
back, followed by Illinois, Indiana, and Penn State, all at 7-3. And Minnesota, really, I feel bad for Minnesota to be just done what it's done so far, losing all those starters and then getting
I
reverse
know.
swept by Purdue.
I know. And Minnesota got a really good win over Indiana. Kind of thing started to look up for that team that had, dropped matches to Michigan, UCLA, Oregon during conference play. So the Indiana win was so good. And then to be up 2-0, that was pretty brutal. And a game that was at Purdue, which is a hard place to win anyway. And clearly, that showed why. But I thought Purdue did a great job. Their defense picked up. Ken Lord has done an awesome job, but I thought Grace Heaney and Akasha Anderson were really the difference. I mean, both hit well over 350 and Anderson 18 kills, Heaney 22. So great win for Purdue. Really, really gritty. I think Purdue continues to impress at least me and just the way that Dave Shondell has been able to put a team together after losing, six starters.
The teams, I mean, among the teams that I saw this week that I was so impressed with, I was so impressed with North Carolina, even in the loss to lose.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with Colorado, what they're doing. I'm so
Yep.
impressed when they play well with BYU. And they've been kind of up and down. Let's just stick with the Big Ten as long as we're there, instead of like
Yep.
waiting to the end and doing all the schedule. So this week, a lot of interesting matches. I'm looking at it here: Illinois, Minnesota, UCLA at USC is,
Big one.
yeah, it's big for both teams for
Yep.
seeding, and and um,
It's a bummer too, because UCLA just dropped out of the rankings this week, and it would have been, I mean, I don't know, the first time in a while that both those teams met when they were ranked. So that was
yeah,
kind of a bummer just in terms of like the match as a whole, but it's going to be a freaking dogfight. Also, congrats to Brad Keller. He just hit his thousandth career win, which is
yeah,
cool.
100th career win. You did say
100th,
that.
that's what I meght.
He's not old enough to have 1,000. I
Let's go with 1,000. He's over 1,000 sets. How about
Yeah,
that?
1,000 sets.
Love you, Brad.
Penn State goes to Michigan. I keep waiting for Michigan to screw things up and upset some people. Very
Yeah.
capable of it. Purdue goes to Michigan State, another tough one. Nebraska, Wisconsin on Halloween. You got that one?
I do. I'm excited. Nebraska hasn't lost a set in their last 11 matches. They are looking very, very good. This is the first time that Nebraska's won every single set in conference play so far through their first 10 since 2007 when they were in the Big 12. Nebraska looks really freaking good right now. And I don't know if Wisconsin, I mean, they don't have Charlie Furbringer. So that's a big
Have
hit.
we heard anything about that? Any updates?
I have not heard anything, and I haven't talked to Kelly yet. And even if I did, I would not be at liberty to say right now, but I haven't talked to him anyway.
Also this week, USC at Minnesota. That's a big one. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, I almost forgot. This 900 seconds is brought to you by Franklin. And Franklin's delved into high school volleyball as well. These volleyballs, and they're really good. This one just feels good.
Yeah.
Uh, franklinsports.com. Click on all the volleyball. You can click on sports, volleyball, and then also, and over on the left, you can click on the menu Elite Indoor Volleyball, which is what this one is. But they make all kinds of volleyballs, and they're really nice. And they're from Massachusetts. They're neighbors.
Nice. Oh my God.
Yeah, that makes me happy. So
Your
there you
buddies.
go. You want to just go conference by conference of the big kids?
Let's go conference by conference. I mean, last note on the Big Ten. Indiana Penn State sneaky matchup on Sunday. I know Indiana's been struggling. Also love your sweatshirt, go Hoosiers. But I don't know. I mean, it'll be fun. And anytime that Steve Aird gets to play Penn State, I feel like is just fun, being a part of the really good run back in the day. And I don't know. Indiana needs a big win, and Penn State has been maybe the most up and down team that we've seen. So you just never know.
I give so much credit to both Penn State and Minnesota for persevering and being where they are still, with
Yeah.
it's with everything they've been through. Speaking of Steve Aird, the Indiana coach, obviously hooked me up with this sweatshirt. He's a Toronto guy. He dies every year with his Maple Leafs, but his Blue Jays, as we're doing this Tuesday, Game 3 tonight with the Dodgers. It's been a really fun baseball
Oh
postseason.
my God, it's been fun. I mean, I was only following because I'm a massive Cubs fan, as we've talked about, but I find myself still watching because it's just been freaking electric. Even, I mean, since a wild card, like every single game, I feel like has just been awesome.
Both of these teams are great, and I'm one of those people when somebody is great in their sport, even if I'm not even interested. I mean, when Otani comes to bat, I stop and
Yeah.
watch. When Vladdy Guerrero comes up to bat, I watch. And
Yeah.
um, the ACC is really, I don't know. I don't know if I had told you at this point in the season, like after we saw the first weekend and we saw a bunch of teams, I told you that three teams would be now tied for first at 9-1:
Yeah.
Stanford, Pitt, and North Carolina. And Louisville and SMU are a game back at 8-2, and Miami at 7-3. Miami's, it feels like they've hit a line of demarcation. Something good or bad is going to happen with Miami at
I
this
feel like
point.
Miami already had their little slip. Like after they popped kind of back in the rankings and were doing well, then we saw that loss to Cal, we saw the loss to Stanford. But then they beat Pitt earlier. So I agree. It's Miami's similar to Penn State, and then they've been a very hot and cold team. But I don't know. They could make a run at the end of the year. I mean, no, they're right on the border of that top 16 seed to host. If they do well and maybe get like one more big win, they'll definitely slide in there. If they drop one they're not supposed to, I think they're definitely out.
Georgia Tech may be down, but you don't go into Georgia Tech and sweep like Stanford did. And Stanford,
No.
like I said this in the beginning, and I still think it, a young, super talented team that's just going to keep getting better and better and better. And
Yeah.
I will not be surprised to see Stanford go very, very far.
Yeah. Same thing. I feel like Stanford and Texas feel pretty, I don't want to say like the same to me because they're not the same, but just in terms of the youth that they have and how they've gotten better, just even thinking from like match one of the season, it's been fun to watch those young stars continue to be good. We talked about this last week though. You never know what happens with freshmen once November hits. Like sometimes they plateau, sometimes they dip, sometimes they continue to do well, but typically it's hard to see and not it's pretty rare to see a freshman do well all throughout December too.
Well, that's like we'll talk about it later, but Carrie Spears, the freshman for Texas, just got
Oh
better
my
and
God.
better yesterday at LSU. But
Yeah.
do I recall this correctly that North Carolina reverse swept at Notre Dame last
Yes,
week, and
you
now
are
Notre
correct.
Dame Wednesday night has Louisville coming in, and
Yep.
Notre Dame, I haven't watched Notre Dame, but they've got to be dangerous, you know. Um, Big match is Friday, huh? SMU
Yeah.
at North Carolina, um, uh, BC at Miami. I'm calling the upset for the Eagles. I did go watch them play Syracuse last week. Hey,
Is it at Miami or at BC?
at Miami at that bandbox. How about I watched Syracuse play at Boston College, and they got a 5'8" outside hitter who just eats them up. Syracuse wins in five. Then BC goes to Syracuse 4 days later and sweeps. Kind of thing that as a coach, you just,
Volleyball. I don't know.
yes, you know. Notre Dame in turn returns to Louisville on Saturday, and then a rare Saturday ACC game, and then Sunday. What I got here? Oh, Pitt at Carolina.
Big one.
It is very cool. The ACC is a mystery.
I think a lot of conferences are that way. I mean, same thing. You look at the Big 12 and it feels like the same thing. It's just a toss-up. You have Arizona
Well,
State and then everyone else.
I think Colorado. You talked about Northwestern. I'd like to know the plus minus for this last year to this year for Colorado.
Oh, well, let me tell you.
Oh, you got in those notes. Great
They
turnaround.
won 13 games last year and they're already at 18.
18-3. Arizona State's in first. Colorado second at 9-1. and then Baylor 7-3, and then three teams: Iowa State, TCU, and Kansas, all at 6-3. And Iowa State's going to figure large into
Iowa
seeing
State,
how many bids that league gets, because Iowa State just figures into the mix.
yeah. And again, going back to my most improved teams, Iowa State's actually second on power conference teams in
Are they
terms of
most improved?
improvement. They won 10 games total last year. They're already at 16.
Um, Funny story. Landed in Louisville last year. Got off the plane. It's on Tuesday morning, right? So the semifinals aren't until Thursday, and then of course championship Sunday. So they got the moving walkways, one going up the ramp and one coming down for people ready, who've already gone through security. And as I go, is Christy Johnson Lynch, the Iowa State coach, I'm coming into Louisville and she's getting ready to board. I go, "What are you doing?" She goes, "All American voting. We're done. I'm going home."
Like, I'm out of here.
um, Colorado tonight goes out of conference and plays over at Northern Colorado. One of my
Random.
favorite programs and favorite coaches, Lindsay Oates, and it's just kind of rare and weird to play a non-conference this time of year.
Yeah.
Uh, Coming up this week, Baylor at Iowa State, K-State, Utah, important again.
Yeah.
BYU's got Central Florida, UCF, which kind of a mystery team as well. And then the big one is TCU at Arizona State. Two tough losses last week for TCU against good
T-
teams.
TCU slipped, and those were, TCU has great wins right now. And then you look at their losses, and it's like, dang, they have five losses. Pitt, Texas, Baylor, but then you had Kansas and BYU again. None of their losses are bad. But TCU feels like they're right in the cusp of the top 10, and I don't know where they ended up. Where the heck are they in our poll? They're 13th in our poll, so same thing. It's like they're right there. They're definitely in hosting position because all their losses have been bad. But if they start slipping up, I don't know if you can have seven losses and host right now.
Yeah, mentioned Iowa State. Arizona State goes there on Friday. K-State at BYU. TCU makes that swing and has to go to Arizona. Arizona's tough. They're another one of those pretty improved teams. I don't know where they rank on that list, but and then Baylor at Colorado. That's a big one. Um, Kansas got to go to West Virginia on Saturday, and West Virginia's improved, and it's a tough place to get to and a tough place to play.
They are third on my list of power conference teams.
Really
13 or 8 wins last year. They're at 13 now.
good. I'm so glad you have that
We
list.
love Jeffrey Muir. He's literally the best stat guy on the planet.
Good. We did the Big Ten, so I'll skip past that. Um,
SEC.
yeah, the SEC, Texas 10-0. The SEC's tough. They've lost some sets, still just super. Followed by Kentucky at 9-0. A&M is 9-1, and then Tennessee back in our mix this week at 7-2, and Florida's still lurking at 7-3.
Yeah,
Of
it
those other
feels
teams like Auburn, Georgia, and Missouri are all 6-4, and they're not as good as those other clubs, but they're still dangerous.
no. No, I agree. And like even because I had Texas, Oklahoma last week. So like I guess 2 weeks ago, well, a week ago, week and a half ago now. And I thought Oklahoma looked pretty damn good against Texas. And they didn't win. Their offense is figuring it out. But like that middle of the pack in the SEC right now is such a toss-up between basically from like Auburn, Georgia, Missouri, Mississippi State, Oklahoma. Like those six team or five teams right now are really fighting for bids. Auburn looks pretty good right now, but I mean, the SEC is going to be crazy. And you take a look at Texas's remaining schedule. They've got A&M and Kentucky this week. Then they have Florida, Auburn, and finish with South Carolina. So we're going to learn a lot about if Texas is really the real deal in these next at least three matches.
No, this is we were coming up with a phrase. This is reckoning week for Texas in the SEC, but it really is
Yeah.
though, because you've got Texas plays at A&M on Friday, and then is home for Kentucky on Sunday. And that's the ESPN game. I mean, that's a tough week. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, the Big Ten will go, "Oh yeah, we do this all the time." Okay, that's good. But then A&M has to go to Tennessee, another
Yeah.
tough place to play. Tennessee, I still watch them, and I just they're kind of like TCU for me. I watch them and I don't get it. They're good, but I can't figure out why. Does that make
Fair. Yeah, I feel that way about like Mizzou too.
yeah. But yeah, reckoning week for Texas.
It's big. I'm excited for that Kentucky Texas game. I think that's one that everyone's been looking forward to. I mean, they're top three in the AVCA poll right now, and our poll, their top four game. Like that's a big week. And to be honest, I think the biggest thing there is you have a Kentucky team that relies on the best outside hitting duo in the country of Brooklyn DeLay and Eva Hudson. And they're going up against Texas's right sides. And Texas is I don't want to say, yeah, actually, you know what? Texas is a very bad blocking team. They're averaging like 2 blocks a set right now. They've got freshmen all the way, not all the way around, but they've got a lot of really young players up front. And if Texas cannot handle those outsides for Kentucky, if they go off, I don't love Texas's odds there because everything for Kentucky runs through the left sides and Texas's front line is not good defensively.
I'll say that I think that the setter's playing extremely well.
Yeah.
Uh, and Emma Halter's just has been
Oh,
spectacular.
the back row's freaking
Romero,
phenomenal. Like they got to
Gary,
help them out.
yeah, and Spears on the right side, and the middles. Both the middles are playing better than I think you could have
Yeah.
imagined. You know,
Yeah, they're
I'd be
both
curious
improving.
if Jarrett would tell the truth. If you say, Jarrett, like in July, how good did you think this team would be right now? Did you think you'd be like 18-0? I wonder if he would said, "Oh yeah, I knew all along," or whatever. I'm gonna have to call him. Um,
I don't know if any coach would be like, yeah, I think we'd be 18-0, especially when you've got, four freshmen that you have out on the court consistently.
yeah.
But
Um,
Abby Vanderwall, I think, has been an X factor for Texas too. I mean, she has been absolutely phenomenal. She put up like I think she had like 400 the other night. Kari Spears is, I think to me she's a front runner for freshman of the year right now. But Abby Vanderwall has done a really nice job.
Somebody asked me the other day. I think I was on a Nebraska radio show, and I'll ask you this that they asked me. Um, do I think that Nebraska's chances for winning a National Player of the Year award out of the Jordan Larson 900 square foot National Player of the Year award would be hurt because so many good players are on that team and the wealth is so spread?
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yes
that's
and no. I mean, well, right now, if you would give that, if you were going to nominate a player from that team, it'd be Harper Murray, wouldn't it?
yeah, yes, but I think that that award is so stat driven and when you just compare the stats right now, for people that would legitimately be in contention for that, you have Olivia Babcock right now, she's averaging over 5 kills a set, hitting 327.
Total
Mimi
point.
Collier, 5.2 kills a set, hitting 317. And then you look at Harper Murray, and where even is she? She's down here, 3.6 kills a set, hitting 316. So yes, she's having a big impact. And I think at the end of the day, while I do think Harper Murray is maybe one of the most well-rounded, to me it would go Olivia Babcock, then Harper Murray. But I just think people look at the numbers, and when you have Olivia Babcock averaging over 5 kills a set, hitting 327, putting up 40 freaking kills a game, um, I think, yeah, Nebraska's for the last few years has been hurt because they've been balanced. But that's Nebraska's whole mantra this year. It's a banner, not a name. So they're trying to win a national championship. They don't care about those personal accolades. And it's clearly showing considering they haven't lost a set since mid-September.
Yeah. Kennedy Lewis L from James Madison. Her 38 kills the other day. She's a runaway right now as the kills leader in the NCAA. Come on. Sunbelt, give them
Done.
some credit.
Okay.
Creighton. Is home Halloween night, Friday for DePaul, and then always a great match. Though I can't imagine Marquette can beat Creighton, but not in Omaha. But that's I think Creighton moved up to 11th for us this week. Does that sound about right? Send it to you. I don't. I
Yeah, they're at 11th. I've got them at 13th,
Yeah.
but whatever.
We talk about this, but doesn't this week seem crazy with all the reverse sweeps? I mean,
Yes, that's
and
another. I know I keep like throwing stats at everyone, but
yeah,
people have actually been asking about this, and we had our ESPN stat guy look into this, and it's on record to be more reverse sweeps than literally ever before.
I mean, on I think this is from Friday. Eastern Kentucky at North Alabama. Ryder did it to Iona. There were three in the MAC alone. Eastern Michigan over Buffalo, Western Michigan over Bowling Green, and Ball State did it against Ohio. I mean, three and then yesterday you had Iowa do it to visiting Rutgers. The Big Ten Network televised on its main platform.
Hey, they got their money's worth in that one.
It did 15th place versus 17th place, but then um, you had Purdue do it to Minnesota. When was the last time there were two reverse sweeps on the same day in the Big Ten, if ever? I mean, I posed that in 900 square feet. I have no idea.
No idea.
Um, Crazy big performances though. And then Sunday, there were more. Um, uh, it's I wish I could do a better job. I type all this stuff in, and then it's like my mind turns to mush, and I move on to the next
Well,
day.
there's been this year, there's been 143. For context, last year there were 184, 180 the year before, 176 the year before that. So it seems like that number would potentially, if it kept, would hit more than the last at least 5 years.
Hey, speaking of freshmen, Kalissa Brashears, Blackshear for Louisville,
Blackshear,
right side. Oh my,
she's a
big
stud.
big X factor for Louisville, just like Kari Spears is for Texas, a right side.
Yeah.
And, and I'm just zipping through here, looking at other stuff. Coppin State has won 10 in a row and leads the MEAC. We don't usually give too much love to the MEAC, so there you go.
Oh,
Um,
a big one for UTEP. They ended Western Kentucky. I think was it West? Yeah, Western
thank you.
Kentucky's.
Yes,
Yep,
Western
winning
Kentucky had
streak.
a 100-match winning streak in the conference and had only lost one other time since like 2020 or something. And that was in a championship game of Conference USA to Rice.
Hmm.
Travis Hudson, the coolest guy, had the Widowmaker heart attack a few years back. Should be dead, and it just keeps on coaching. He's only 2 wins away from 800. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, uh, oh, talk about weird stats. And Craig Stanek gave me this one. It was in today's 900. Grambling played on Sunday and didn't play in a sweep. I mean, Grambling's only like 1 in 20 or something, but every single match until then had been a sweep. And he said the
Dang.
percentage of that was less than 1 in 1 million to have 19 or 20 straight matches all be 3 sets.
Dang.
It's your most random thing. Um,
Very.
so you have one match this week. Did I mention
I've
Franklin?
just got Nebraska, Wisconsin on Friday. I'm excited. I'm actually going up on Thursday because Athletes Unlimited is playing in Madison, so I get to see all those girls. I'm excited. I haven't been to an AU game in a while. Man, maybe I went, I guess, two
Unfortunately,
years
either has
ago.
anybody else.
Okay. Yeah, attendance has not been great, but the level of play is freaking high. Like,
Great. Jordan Thompson. I mean, they can
I
just
don't
give
know
it
why
to
people
you.
aren't going, like, especially in Madison and in Nebraska. I know, like, maybe they're not playing on the best days, but like, if you live in Madison, why would you not be going to these games?
No, I don't. Not to get off too much on them, but they couldn't draw anybody in Omaha and they couldn't
I
draw
know.
anybody in Madison. So it's a shame because I think they should just keep it as a made for TV event, say what it is and do it. And hopefully, they've been on ESPNU a couple times and that's good. Yeah, Jordan Thompson has run away with that thing. I mean, it
Oh,
was
she is
nobody could
absolutely, she's
probably.
crushing.
Yes. And I'm sure she needs the money. No, Jordan should have made a ton of money
She's
in her
she's
European
good.
career, I would think.
Yeah.
So is that your only match of the week?
That's all I've got. I'm going to AU and then yeah, Nebraska, Wisconsin on Friday, and it's a sellout. I hope it's a good game. Nebraska again hasn't lost a set in 11 matches, but I would love a four setter.
We are all just waiting with bated breath to find out the final post regular season rankings and the seeding and bracket for the MIAA, Massachusetts State Volleyball Tournament. The
Yeah. Yeah, how
Magicians
are things?
be in and will play at home for the first time in 4 years. And if they win, they'll play a home match in the second round for the first time, I think, ever.
Ooh,
Exciting.
okay.
Of course, you got one match at a time, but it's exciting times here.
Did you tell me something crazy happened with like people out on the
Oh,
court again?
yes, we'll leave with that for them who watch from Marblehead. And I know there are some. The Magicians the other day, the libero ran in, got the ball to go serve, and both middles just stayed in the game. And so they had four along the front row, and then they subbed improperly, and the officials never caught it. The other coach in the desk knew something was up, but they never figured it out. So there was never a penalty. And I don't know how they ever rectified it or fixed it in the book or how they got the rotation right, but it wasn't as bad as Northwestern playing with seven, but it's up there.
We can forget that.
She is the voice of ESPN, the Big Ten Network, Fox, VBTV, and all other good things. My good friend Emma Lehman. I'm Lee Feinswab. Thank you for putting up with us. If you're not a subscriber to 900 Square Feet, the email, the only all volleyball email, it's in the link if you go search it out, or find us on 900 Square Feet on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and go buy yourself a Franklin volleyball.